Hello, class. James Garfield was the last sitting member of the House of Representatives to be elected President of the United States. Well, James Garfield was born November 19th, 1831. He died September 19th, 1881. He was just shy of his 50th birthday. His home state is going to be Ohio. This is the third Republican president from Ohio in a row. As a matter of religion, he was from the disciples of Christ. So his first lady, his wife, is Lucretia, and they're going to have several different sons. Two of them are going to end up being minor cabinet secretaries. Okay, Hal is going to be the head of the United States Fuel Administration, which is a position dealing with energy during World War I that doesn't exist anymore. And then James Garfield's son is going to be U.S. Secretary of the Interior for Theodore Roosevelt. His great-grandson is going to also invent the game Magic the Gathering. So James Garfield is in office from March 4th, 1881 to September 19th, 1881. As you can see here, that's an incomplete term. His vice president is Chester A. Arthur, who's going to get his own video. So the thing with James Garfield is that he was a member of the House of Representatives for Ohio. And he had been in the House for over 16 years, several different elections. And what happens in 1880 is that former President Grant goes through Republican nomination. He has several different opponents. Nobody can get 50%. So James Garfield is put as kind of this compromise candidate. So he gets it there. Now, he had a backup if he had not won the presidency. The legislature in Ohio appointed him to be senator at the same time that he was elected president. And so his big thing going in is that he wanted to end the spoils system. And so this is kind of a bit of open corruption where these public service jobs were given out as patronage for people that helped you get elected. So clerks, port authority people, post office postmasters, these are things that were appointed. And when there was a Democratic president, Democrats were in charge of them. When there was a Republican president, Republicans were in charge of them. People being dismissed, all of that. So he wants to end this. But he doesn't really get very far in this because he is assassinated. James Garfield is assassinated by a guy called Charles Guiteau. And Charles Guiteau believed that his energetic campaigning for Garfield had single-handedly won him the presidency. And while that was kind of crazy thinking, you'd have to take into account the election of 1880, which is one of the closest elections. James Garfield won the popular vote by less than 2,000 votes. And he won the state of New York by less than 2%. And so if he had done 2% worse in New York, it would have flipped the Democratic column, and we would have known President Hancock instead of President Garfield. But most people recognize the name Garfield now as to do with the cartoon cat. So Charles Guiteau is going to shoot President Garfield for this perceived slight. And then Garfield's going to die a very painful death across 2 months. they're going to try all sorts of experimental things on him, trying to find the bullet and stuff. His doctors made it worse, and they likely are the ones that are kind of more responsible for him dying. The other thing, if you're like looking at an accomplishment of James Garfield, it's Memorial Day got signed by him to become what will become Memorial Day. Is going to come through him. So, a little unfair to him because he is only president for about 6 months, and 2 of them he's hanging out of life. So it's a big what could have been. He has succeeded by